to the Brelix Estate in Philadelphia. This will be a guided tour by yours truly, Gregory Brelix, filmed by Emma Brelix. Please come with me on this venture. As you can see, our volunteer maple is coming along quite beautifully, filling out, bushy, full, and lovely. Over here, as you enter the main door to the estate, we have on the left a new decorative plot transferred from the prior lot next to the porch with ornamentals such as hostas, spiderwort, tulips, and ferns. Come with me. Over here we have a new construction of fencing designed to keep balls and children from the vegetable plot. And in here we have a variety of zucchinis. These first two plants are coming along quite nicely. This third one here is a crooked neck squash. Next to the crooked neck squash, we have 2 rows of green cabbage started from seed, coming in quite nicely. Lastly, here at the end, we have 3 rows of carrots, which are a little bit difficult to see at the moment, but are coming along nicely and will be rounded out with fresh compost as soon as they mature a little bit more. Now, let's move on to the back garden. Watch your head as we go underneath the nectarine tree before turning around to take a look at how this nectarine tree is coming in quite nicely. If you look closer, you can see that the fruit is coming along quite nicely. Emma and I were out here pruning just yesterday, removing roughly half of the fruit so that the remaining fruit has a better chance of reaching full ripeness. Down here, you can see 2 of our tomato plants. These are cherry tomatoes and coming along quite nicely. In fact, we have our first tomato already making an appearance down there. More to come. All along the side of the house here, we have our pepper plot. There are a variety of different hot peppers. Scotch Brite, what are they called? We have habanero, we have serrano peppers.
Hungarian wax. Scotch bonnet.
Thank you, the Scotch bonnet. I was trying to think of that. In here, where I cleared out some of the lily and ornamentals from last year, I've added in both a butternut squash as well as an acorn squash. Quite excited to see those come along. Now, if you come back over here, along the fence, I trained our raspberries, and they seem to be coming in quite nicely. I think we're in for a bumper crop there. And with any luck, if they can ripen more or less at the same time and the birds don't get to them, we should have some homemade raspberry jam. This raised bed here is our tomato plot. It has a variety of different types of tomato plants, ranging from Jersey Boy and Big Boy to Roma tomatoes. We have some natural volunteer indigenous strawberry plants that I've let grow. Some nice little strawberries on there, mainly for the birds, not for the people. And then this second raised bed is primarily for cucumbers, from the regular burpless English cucumbers to the Boston pickling cucumbers. We also have a variety of different eggplants, from Ichabod to Black Beauty. In here, this third raised bed is then dedicated primarily to beans. We have a variety of green beans as well as yellow wax beans. Up front here, you can see a row of seedlings coming in. These are kohlrabi, started from seed. Next to that, we have one lone little carrot that has made it. Yes, thank you. You got to zoom in really close for that one. I'm not sure what happened to the rest of them. We're going to have to restart some of that row. And then next to this, we have various onions that were planted. A lot of what you see in between there needs to be weeded. These are volunteer tomatoes from last year, when the tomatoes were in this bed. Up here against the house, we have a nice little crop of mint. And then let's turn our attention to the backyard. We'll just kind of scan the whole backyard for a moment first, so you get, not me, the backyard, an overall impression there. And then we can take a look at the new construction. So, focusing on the coop, here we have on the left-hand side the nesting box. And while I've got a videographer here. I'm going to go ahead and, no, don't look where the secret key is hidden. We're going to get a key to demonstrate that, you want to come out here and check on the nest to see if you've got any fresh eggs. Undo the little hasp block, peek in, and there you go. You can see whether or not the hens have been active. Coming over here to the coop itself, you'll notice we have kind of matching shingles to the house, little windows in the front. It's filled at the moment with various things for the chickens, as well as some pieces of wire fencing that need to be still installed. But down below you have dust boxes where they will be able to, take their dust and dirt baths, which they like quite a lot. We have perches where they will be sleeping, droppings boxes for, clearing out the poop from underneath there, as well as, a little space to hang out. In the back, we just have the windows open. They've been wired in, to protect the hens, but left open for ventilation. Over here on the side, we have the shed. Now the shed is pretty simple. It's just made to look part of this general compound. It has a nice little shelf for tools up top and space for the lawnmower and some other tools down below. This will also lock so that you can keep people out. Here we have the gate into the run for the chickens themselves. And you can see there's the little window door at the top of the ramp so that they can look out and get excited about the outdoors. Here's our ramp coming down into the run, as well as a bunch of space for them. I just graded the soil a bit so it'll grow in nicely with some vegetation for them to peck around in. Right, so this is all very securely tacked on with hardware cloth to keep any critters out. And you can see we also have a little awning at the top of the ramp to protect them from rain, so they can hang out and enjoy that. Now moving on to the vegetables again, we have our lettuce plot with all sorts of different romaine and buttercup. Here in these little circles of stones you have beets that are coming in. We started those from seed and they're coming along. We got some Swiss chard, some Thai basil, some parsley, curly parsley and long Italian parsley. We've got the basil in the back. In the green bins there we have garlic scapes that have yet to pop up but will soon. And over here we have our herbs, which are kind of out of control. We've got a huge stand of oregano there in the front, lots of chive doing well, the dill on the side back there, kale all popped up there. In the back corner, by the way, we have lemon balm, 4 clumps of those that I transplanted, as well as another raspberry bush. Down here we have a nice, beautiful hedge of thyme and tons of sage, lavender, a couple of different types of lavender there. So all coming along quite nicely. You may recall back here, thank you videographer for scanning right over my chest, the compost mound. When I was digging up in the front yard to move the ornamentals, I decided that I would take the sod and put that on here, and I think it looks kind of cool. So that's now just what I refer to as the grassy knoll. Up here we have then the new compost area. I built a compost bin with a little handle and a bolt latch there to keep critters out, and basically toss all the compost in, shut it, lock it, and we're good to go. And then of course we have the oh so important fire pit itself, holding up quite nicely and getting plenty of use in prime season, which is right now before the mosquitoes come out. And lastly, you can see there the wood shed area, which is just a little covering for any of the burnables that I want to dispose of here in the pit. That's all for this edition of the Brelix Philadelphia Enclave Garden Tour. Thank you for your attention.